Are you ready to master the out-of-body experience? Perhaps you have had spontaneous experiences at some point, but now find it challenging to control the conscious takeoff from the body. In this video, I will introduce you to an original approach that will help you understand and control the separation of the astral body. Stay tuned and let's dive into it together. Hi, thank you for being here with me. I am Trivellato, and what I'm going to share with you in this video is precious. It's the result of what I have learned throughout 32 years training individuals to have conscious out-of-body experience, plus my own experiences and situations that I have seen when I was outside the body, and the combination of all of that started giving me insights into how we can better understand the process of the separation from the body. There are different phases in the out-of-body experience, and it's very important that we understand each of them separately. But the most challenging by far is the conscious disconnection from the body. It's challenging because there are psychological aspects that prevents us from letting go completely. And very often individuals would feel afraid at that very second of the separation, even though they were before doing techniques and trying to leave the body. And another very common situation is to just fall asleep, completely lose lucidity at the moment of the separation. You probably have faced some of these, right? All of us, we have faced some of these difficulties. It's normal to anyone who tries to control the separation from the body. And let me just very briefly describe to you what are the phases that composes the process of the out-of-body experience. And then we are going to go deep into the specific moment of the takeoff. When we think of the phenomenon of the out-of-body experience, we are talking about 5 different phases. The first one is what we call the pre-projection phase. It's simply the moment before we start detaching from the body. There are loads of things to be discussed, optimizations, to know how certain things that we do before leaving the body or even during the day will influence the experience that we are about to have. And this moment is key. That's how we start the whole process. And after this phase, the next one is the takeoff, the disconnection phase. And this is the one that we are going to go deep into. I have got this phase and divided into several others so that we can see what happens in each moment, how it progresses. And by understanding it, we have much better chances of knowing what's going on at each moment, when we should act to push our astral body out, or we should just relax, and all of the complexities involved in the separation from the body. Following that, we separated, we disconnected, we have another phase, which is the non-physical phase. And it means we are out, we are not in the physical world. And that is, of course, the most complex, not the most difficult, but the most complex. Because we could analyze this phase under many different aspects. The same experience can be very different from one astral projector to another because of the level of lucidity, awareness, and control of that moment. And therefore, there are many different aspects to studying there. How much we are able to move our astral body, to fly, to see, to connect with other things, to decide where we are going, many things. So it is a complex approach. We can also classify it according to the density of the astral dimension we are in. That makes an experience completely different from another and is a whole study that we have there. Another aspect for us to observe and classify the experience is our interaction with entities. Have we met somebody? How was that? What type of being or spirit? How we behaved? What was related to that? And all of this is involved in the study of the non-physical phase of the astral projection. And then comes a fourth phase, very logically. After that, we return to the body. And that is the reconnection phase, which also has challenges and steps. How the return happens, what do we feel, is there anything that we can or should do at this point to optimize our chances of bringing excellent energies and having a good recollection. So that is all involved in this moment of the return to the body. And evidently the fifth phase, the last one, is the post-projection phase. After we returned, after we wake up. So what can we do at this point and what should we do? We have to know if we experienced a dream or an astral projection. How do we classify? What are the techniques to recall it better? Is there any study or reflection that we can do to help us understand what prompted that experience? So you see, it's 5 different phases with lots of things to study in each, but it's a logical sequence that we follow when we are having an astral projection. If you want to go very deep into this and understand all of the different aspects, I recommend that you take a look at the Consciousness Development Program of the International Academy of Consciousness. I am one of the authors of the course. I give many classes there. I know it deeply. It's not a course of mine. It's something that I've offered to the International Academy of Consciousness, to the IAC. This is the most complete course that I know of about the out-of-body experience. Not only complete, but deep, explaining details and going into studies that I do not know anybody that touches into that, because some aspects, especially of the phase when we are out of the body, can be very tricky for us to understand because each experience is different. So it requires a lot of research, a lot of study, a lot of accumulation of information to be able to go into all of the different intricacies and details. We are not going to go into it here. Here we are going to discuss about the disconnection, and I am going to refer only to the aspects of how we can distinguish this phase, how we can follow it, so that you can better control it. The information that I'm giving you here today has been recently published in my book, Astral Projection, a Primer, Introduction to Out-of-Body Experience. And even though it's a primer, the information that is there, most of it is original information. And especially this one is something that I kind of recently could organize in my mind. Once it's organized, I say, yes, it was there the whole time. But before, the approach was always try and get out of the body. But how? What steps you do to get closer into getting out of the body, meaning to disconnecting consciously at will. The point here is to disconnect at will. The examination of how the separation progress, everything that is involved in detaching from the body, that is the new approach that I'm bringing here to you. So let's go and see what is involved in the takeoff of the astral body. The first thing is to understand that that is not only one event. We most of the time think we are inside the body and then bam, we are out, and there we go, flying into wherever we want to. But it's not that. The separation has different moments, different stages. Sometimes all of the different stages happen so fast, almost simultaneously. That's why many spontaneous astral projections, especially, we are just relaxed and then we feel a buzzing or something and bam, we are out, because everything happened very fast. Of course, this is possible. But when we are practicing techniques and we want to be sure we are detaching, we want to be sure we are outside the body, we want to understand what's going on, then it tends to be a disconnection that goes slower, that we can experience all of these stages that I'm talking about. And if we know what's going on, it's very helpful. So the first stage is the loosening of the energy body. So now let me show you something. The two bodies, physical and non-physical, are connected, and the energy body is attaching them both as if it were some sort of a Velcro or glue attaching them. In order to disconnect from the body, the very first thing that must happen is that these energies that are connecting both bodies, they need to loosen up, to melt down, so that the astral body is less rigidly tight, less rigidly adhered to the physical body. So this is what you will experience first. Most people will take this very first moment as a sign that they are going out. They are not going out yet. And because of this misinterpretation, we tend to very often abort the possibility of going out of the body because we start pushing to go out too early. Now, this first stage will give you many different sensations. They are all perceptions and sensations of energy. For example, you feel a buzzing, zzz, or you could feel what's called ballooning, like you feel inflated. Your whole body seems to be inflated, or only one part of your body. Or you feel a sense of pulsing in some areas of the body, which are one of your chakras or energy centers, or can be the whole body. Or you feel you are starting to get lighter, not yet floating, lighter. Lighter means you are perceiving a change here, but very much in alignment with your physical body. When we are in the alignment of the bodies, meaning the astral body is completely connected and still adhered to the physical one, we experience mostly energy sensations only. Here I have a great tip for you. By understanding this now, you see the importance of what I'm going to discuss. Since the base of the process is the separation of the bodies, because of the loosening of the energies that connect them both, we can experience great benefit by practicing the velo technique before. If you are not familiar with this technique that I'm calling velo, some people pronounce it velo, V-E-L-O, don't worry, I'm going to leave a link in the description for you to find out more about this. And when should you do your velo practice session? Right before you go to bed, for example, or while you are lying down preparing to do a technique to leave the body. You go and do a very long session. If you are going to do a short session, perhaps it's best that you do late in the afternoon or early evening, a longer session, because for these energies to melt down, it may take a while. It varies a lot. If you have been practicing velo, for example, or if naturally your energies are more loosened, maybe you don't even need to do it for that specific attempt to leave the body. But if you want to have greater chances, I strongly recommend that you practice velo. It can even be a couple of sessions throughout the day. That will make a big difference. The second stage of the disconnection is the loosening of the astral body. So let's think of it. First, the energies start getting loosened. So it activates, it vibrates, lots of different sensations that you may have. They may be so subtle that you don't sense it clearly. Don't worry about it. Pay more attention to how you are feeling the separation, how conscious you are, how is your internal posture in relation to that experience. Are you positive? Are you relaxed? Are you motivated? Are you anxious? Are you in a hurry? All of this makes a huge difference. Then, after these energies loosen up, the astral body per se starts getting more free. So you imagine that you have your astral body there aligned, adhered by these energies. The energies melt down. Then the astral body can be like moving, can be free, but you are still inside your body. And that is another situation that causes confusion, because this will prompt other sensations, different sensations, and many people start taking it as a sign of, I'm going out. Not necessarily. Maybe it's loosening up and you are about to go out. So it can be like this phase is very short. But many times, and I know because of so many people that I have trained individually, what happens is that this phase can take a while, and this while can be a great while. Sometimes 40 minutes, sometimes 1 hour, sometimes 10 seconds. You don't know. But the loosening of the astral body brings to you an intensification of all of the sensations of the first phase. So ballooning, feeling light, or feeling heavy is another sensation. Another experience that is quite common at this stage is sleep paralysis. Again, we feel inside of the body, but we are not fully connected. Then the sleep paralysis may happen. And here now you can appreciate what's going on at that moment. Because of the amplifications of the sensations of the energy, because now you are not only sensing the energy body, but you are sensing how the energy body is connected to and affecting your astral body. And this is the moment when most of the time we fall asleep, because we are not used to have this more lucid connection to the astral body. Normally when we have it, we are already asleep. And that's when, in the middle of the night, many times, we separate from the body. We may be conscious, unconscious, we may recall, we may not recall, but then it's not much of a use for us because we want to witness it, to learn with it, to control it, to have a story to tell when we wake up in the morning, to tell to ourselves even, to have some report to write to ourselves, and to have a nice understanding that the spirit world is out there and we can reach it. But all of this is so different from our regular waking state that if we do not master well this moment, we will fall asleep. So I have a few tips for you here. The first one is, when you reach this point, do not do velo anymore. Because if you do velo will redistribute the energies of your energy body. Yes, it's positive, it realigns your chakras, it activates your energy, but in this moment, because it's already kind of separated, even though you are still aligned, it may just reattach you to the body. By the way, a parenthesis, that's why velo is a very good technique for you to do if you are experiencing sleep paralysis in an uncomfortable way. You want to come back, you do velo. That reorganizes your energy body, bam, it realigns your bodies. The other tip I have for you is, if you are at this stage, do not try and push your astral body out. Just go with the flow. See how that will progress, because it will progress. Detaching from the body is natural. And it's amazing that all of us, we have to apply so much effort into letting it happen in a conscious way. It happens, but if we are unconscious, it doesn't matter. But in a way, our instincts make it not so easy for us. So what you will do is that you will observe how you are feeling. That in itself is a very nice experience. And if you pay attention in a very relaxed way to what's going on, you will notice that the type of perception that you have of yourself, perception of the space, perception of time is all very altered. So just enjoy it. Go with the flow. Navigate through these sensations and through this moment. And this moment can be very gentle and subtle. You have very little of clear sensations. Clear, I mean strong sensations. Most people want to feel a strong buzzing, a vibrational state. They want to feel the presence of a spirit guide, but not always it is like this. So you go with the flow. How is that happening for you in that moment? And the more you relax, the more you enjoy, the more you pay attention without falling asleep, the more this will advance. Again, as I said, it can be a few seconds. It can be almost instantaneous after the losing of the energy body. But that is not what normally happens. Normally, first phase, second phase, and then we go to the third phase that I'm going to describe right now. Once we get to a point of saturation, of this loosening up of the astral body, what typically happens is that we start sensing the astral body even more clearly than the physical body. And that may confuse many people. It actually does confuse many people, because both bodies are aligned, we are in the same position, but the perception we are having is more of the astral body. Have you ever had the experience, for example, in which you are trying to leave the body, you are relaxed, but all of a sudden you feel as if your arms are in different position than they were when you lie down? This is just an example of how little by little we are observing more the astral body. And of course, in this case, I'm supposing your astral body is with the arms in a different position. That's not uncommon. What happens is that we fail to recognize what's going on. Now, I want you to recognize what's going on, because then, since our connection, meaning our attention, our focus, our connection of the astral body is equal or higher than the physical body, the process of the takeoff will start. And here is when the actual takeoff happens. And again, this third phase can be super quick, or you may be experiencing this for a long time. Hang in there and enjoy. What sort of sensations you typically have at this point? Sensations like falling, or you feel floating. It's not feeling light, you feel floating. You feel as if your nose is touching the roof, or you feel like a Velcro sensation, as if there were noises inside your body. Or you may, for example, experience the intracranial sounds. In other words, sounds or noises that we hear inside of our heads. It's not our ears. It's just the redistribution of the energy that produces this perception as if it were an auditory perception. Some people feel a bit afraid of that because it can be strange and loud, but not negative, not bad sensation, not fearful at all, but the lack of knowledge of what's going on may surprise some people. You may also have a vibrational state. By the way, the vibrational state can happen in all of the 3 stages that we are describing here. But the more further into this progression, the stronger the vibrational state tends to be. Not exactly that the vibrational state will be different, but our awareness of it will be different. Because since we are feeling so clearly the astral body, when the vibrations come, we experience them with much more clarity. Sometimes they can be stronger than if they were physical. At this point, when the disconnection is happening, you may sense the separation in different ways. So this is also something that must be included here, because you can separate from the body. For example, sideways, as if you were sliding. Or sometimes you can feel as if you are just standing up or you are just lifting up. But there are times in which you can sense one of your chakras very strongly. If you want more reference about this, I have 2 videos to suggest to you. One of them is called Spinning Out of Your Body. Sometimes the disconnection, we feel like as if we were spinning, but you can disconnect in ways that it's like a roller coaster, or so smoothly that you don't even notice you disconnected. I have also another video that is called Unusual Sensations of the Separation from the Body. Take a look, because both of them are going to give you important tips into this phase here. Whatever is the movement or direction towards which your astral body is going, what is important is that you relax into it. Let it happen. Your mental approach is what's most important. It doesn't help if you try to push your astral body out, but you are in a hurry or you're forcing. You have to do everything more with your mind than with force, more with your will than with anxiety. It is a decision, but not a push out. You can find details about this that I just described to you in my book, Astral Projection, a Primer. If you are here with me or if you found me through my website, it's a free download for you. So you can just go to my website and ask the link to be sent to you. And I hope you enjoy it. So just recapping, be patient, learn with experience each phase of it, each sensation and each challenge. Sometimes the challenge that we face teach us more than the success, because the success means you've got it at that time. But when you have a challenge, you know what's limiting you. You can work on it and you can develop other skills that are important for you to master the out-of-body experience. I hope this information gives you a big push for you to live your body consciously. If this video was useful, please do not forget to give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you are not subscribed yet. I wish you wonderful out-of-body experiences and goodbye. See you next time.